being like all, woo! Look at that, see? It has a mind of its own.
Hey, I need one blue boy up here. He's not Hawaiian. I need one blue up here.
All right, come here. Check. Let me see. Okay, y'all been here all day. Y'all know it works when it wants. But again, we have here Vice Presidential nominee, Mr. Spike Cohen. Woo! Cohen. Said it wrong. Cohen. So again, we've been out here preaching that there is more than two choices come November, and this is the absolute proof that this is one of the other candidates who did not actually lock up the most black males in California. Give it up for that. Give it up for that. Yeah.
I didn't lock up any male.
He also did not sign off on the crime bill. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. All right. He also has not been videotaped groping young girls on stage. Give it up for that. Okay. He also has not been caught on tape. Speaking of grabbing them by the pussy, hey, let's get on to that. So, the whole lesser of two evils.
Let it go. Let it go.
It's not gonna happen.
People speak. So, without further ado, give it up for Mr. Spike. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for coming out to this to the Get the Strap rally. First of all, anything named Get the Strap, I will be there. Right off the bat. And I will try to keep it short and sweet because I don't like talking. Well, that's not true. I like talking a lot. But I've been talking all day long, and I'm sure y'all have many other people that I want to hear from. So I'm going to keep it really simple. Here's the reality. We can't say that all lives matter until we show that black lives matter.
Facts.
We can't show that black lives matter until we get rid of the gun control laws that make it so hard for y'all to defend your lives in the first place. So let's be very clear. We have seen the history, the racist history in this country of gun control. The very first gun control laws that were introduced in the United States were laws that were designed to stop freed slaves from defending themselves against the Klan and the crooked police organizations that the Klan were often involved with. And every single gun control law that has been part of the war on guns has been disproportionately used against communities of color. The average black person in the United States is, as mentioned, 3 or 4 times more likely to be convicted for a gun crime, even though white people are nearly twice as likely to own a gun. So the reality is, you are exponentially more likely to be infringed upon by the war on guns than your white counterpart is. And we've seen time and time again how that plays out. And all of that will end when Joe Jorgensen gets elected and gets rid of the ATF and all of those federal gun laws, and not just ends the gun laws, but also pardons everyone that has a conviction for a gun law. So if you have a gun charge and now you can't vote and you can't own a gun, that all ends when Joe Jorgensen gets elected. Now, whenever I see any of the CNN boys or any of the Black Panthers or any of the NFAC, I make sure to go up to them and thank them for their service, because what they're doing is making sure that that peaceful protest remains peaceful. We have seen the difference between unarmed protests and armed protests. When people show up unarmed and they're only armed with their signs and their words, they often get brutalized by the very police that they're there to protest the brutality from. But when people come armed, all of a sudden none of that happens. There's no tear gassing, there's no pepper spraying, people aren't being rounded up en masse, because it turns out you don't bring tear gas to a gunfight. So let's be...
Not with me, though.
No, exactly, not with you. And that's the thing. So when you are armed, you aren't just defending yourself from immediate harm, but especially when you're in large groups and you're armed, you're defending yourself against the threat of harm. You are being a big deterrence against anyone who would look at you or your group and say, yeah, I'm going to give them a hard time. No one's going to give this group a hard time. Look around. No one is going to give a hard time to this group. So, just to keep it very simple here, we have 3 choices when it comes to defending our gun rights. If you want to have your gun rights defended, if you want to have an end to police brutality because people have more guns, and by the way, also ending qualified immunity, which holds the police accountable when they do brutalize everyone. If you want that, you have 3 choices. You have Donald Trump, who's one of the biggest cheerleaders for the police state, and who occasionally talks a good game when it comes to gun control, when he's not busy pushing for bump stock bans and gun accessory bans and red flag laws. And then you have Joe Biden, who doesn't even try to talk a good game about guns. He is proposing massive gun control when he's not pushing for continuation of his 50-year history of the militarized police state and civil asset forfeiture and a completely out of control, increasingly unaccountable police state. Again, when he's not, you took my line, when he's not busy sniffing children, and his newly minted running mate, who, again, you took my line, locked up more black people than almost any other person living right now.
Yes, she sure did.
And then the next choice that you have is Joe Jorgensen, who is going to end the war on guns, and who's also going to end the war on drugs and end qualified immunity and end civil asset forfeiture and end no-knock raids and end cash bail and end mandatory minimum sentencing and dismantle the policies of systemic racism that have led to the harmful and inequitable and abusive outcomes that we often see. And that starts with allowing you to defend yourself by ending the war on guns. So I hope everyone here recognizes that they only have one viable choice when it comes to demonstrating, truly demonstrating that Black Lives Matter, and that is Joe Jorgensen. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Mandatory buybacks?
No. If anything, we'll give you some new guns. No, there's no buyback. No, there's none of that. No, all gun laws end. The NFA, any law that is on the books is an infringement on your natural right to protect and defend yourself and your loved ones and your communities as you see fit. It is no one in that building or this building's business what kind of gun you have.
That's right.
Thanks. I can carry this.